Welcome back to another video. We are really pushing along this series. I appreciate everyone who has been tuning in. So we've got a really good encounter today. So this one's pretty straightforward, but when the Flind encounter is probably one of the best encounters I've done against Flind with this build. I literally just completely batter the whole, basically all of Knowles at the same time, including Flind, because I tried to keep up on her and it just didn't happen. But you'll see when you're watching the second part of this video. But this encounter is quite easy, even without the ranged. It's not much of an issue really. The sword's just going to be picking them off. But we can pretty much face roll this as well. I will use some of my superiorities just to make sure that we don't take too many hits, and we can also get rid of the Etacaps. But yeah, this one's not too much of a concern really. Pretty much most of our encounters have not been of an issue. I haven't really had any concern. The only concern out of all the encounters so far would be the Flind one, where I feel like I'll just completely mess it up. And obviously Flind has got like over 100 HP as well, and he can also double attack, etc. So they can hit quite hard. They can end runs relatively easy. So that's probably the only one. So we are starting to get into harder encounter territory. It's not always going to be a breeze. It will start to get a bit difficult. But as of now, still relatively easy. Trying to prioritise getting rid of the spiders. The Etacaps were generally on the lower ground. Well, one of them is. It's just because these can kite a little bit, which can be a bit annoying. As I say, we're not using ranged. I mean, if you're just following through with this build on your own accord and playing through, you can actually go Titan String. And, you know, if you ever can't reach, just use that, which is perfectly fine. I'm just choosing to not use ranged at all, just because I find it'll be, you know, a bit more. Don't get me wrong, we want to make this as easy as possible for this run, but I don't really want to be shooting things with Titan String all the time. Once you've done a few range builds and you've used Titan String a handful of times, specifically on Fighter, where you get so many extra attacks with multiple arrows and Dragonflight arrows, etc., it can be very easy. So, which is not always a bad thing. It's obviously a good thing that the game can get easy. But just out of personal preference, we'll be using pretty much completely melee for the time being. Don't get me wrong, I think I'd rather use ranged one time than completely lose a run, but I think we should be fine with this build for the next few videos. I've got high confidence that we're going to be able to complete this series and finally get a completed run. So we were just playing chase there and trying to finish off these last few mobs and do some tidy up. Let him dash to us though. Right, so this is the encounter. That was quite fun. I actually did have a moment of panic. Sorry, not this one. Sorry, it'll be when we get to Flind. Sorry, it's completely in a world of my own then. These are not too much of a concern. I was just going to smack these in the face. Nice to get the surprise attack. I just feel like you get so many types of abilities as well, with obviously cleave, lacerate, and all that stuff. It's just, I just find it so fun. I know some people probably don't, but each to their own. Fight is just one of the favourite classes. I also like, obviously, ability casters as well, like a Storm Sorcerer. Another one that's been done quite a bit. Probably after this run, I probably would think of doing Storm Sorcerer or something like that. I'm just trying to do the builds that I enjoy rather than what people want to see. Even though it is really nice to get engagement. You know, it is fun. I enjoy talking to people and having subscribers and building a community, but it's not always very easy to do, especially on YouTube. It's so saturated with videos and people making content that it is hard to do so, especially to make good and interesting content, which I do try and do, but you know, it's not always easy, especially when you've got time restraints. So we were trying to pick these off as quick as we could before they decided to wake up and turn into the half-borns or whatever they're called. Just having a random roll dice here. I don't think I've ever rolled dice here because I'm usually ranged just shooting them. I don't think I've ever actually had to run in and smack these in the face. Newborn, that's it. I don't know what I said, half-born or something. That was a bit off. I feel like my favourite act is Act 1. Maybe that's because, I don't know, I've did so many runs that have failed in like Act 2-ish. That I've done Act 1 that many times that I don't know, I just enjoy it. I feel like there's so much to it compared to Act 2, which I'm not a fan of. It's probably my worst Act 2. I don't really like it at all. Act 3 is not too bad. I do enjoy Act 3 as well. It's probably Act 2 that I'd like to skip if it was possible, but you know, part of the game. So we did use haste here. I actually messed up there. I thought I was stealth, and then as you can see by this dialogue interaction that if we had Illithid, which if we had rested, we would actually be able to make her turn on a pact. But I was just curious because I don't think I've ever done it this way before, so I was just seeing how the dialogue played out. But as you can see, it's just basically you can't do it. So we basically got the entire, you know, gnolls against us, really. So I do want to get rid of Flind as much as I can, as quick as I can, sorry. Yeah, there's quite a few up there. I thought this was the end of the run, I'm not going to lie.
Hear that? Someone's fighting the gnolls.
Yeah, you just hide in there and don't help.
Don't be a fool, lad. Shut your mouth and keep your head down.
Here's me just flickering through. Really, so I'm thinking to myself here, get rid of Flind as quick as I can and try and get out of line of sight of these. And just hope that they miss. So we need to nuke this guy. I knew that straight away. I was like, yeah, time to get rid of him. Which, you know, I was trying to knock him over, which just did not seem to be happening. At least we didn't miss start. That's a start. It's a good job we used haste, I'll tell you that much. There you go. Look at that critical hit, which is it's like a 76. Why didn't we do that at the start? It would have been ideal. So I thought, do you know what? Let's just stand on the faces, give them disadvantage, and yeah, and just take them out in like one hit. That was the plan, just like that. Remember though, just because Flint's been taken care of, these can still hit quite hard. They double up with the bow there, and yeah, it can still not be pretty. But yeah, I'm going to let you continue watching this. I'm going to finish the audio here. But again, please like the video and subscribe. You know, it's even getting a few likes, it goes a long way, and I do really appreciate it. It's nice to see. Well, thanks for spending your time watching the content, and hopefully see you in the next one.
A fine day for murder!